All right. So I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I did, I put on an accountability thing on the Goal Crushers page. And the reason I did this is because after having conversations with many of you, the invitation to the coaching opportunity is the hardest part, as far as just getting the guts to get going. But I'll just tell you from experience, when I look back at when I started coaching, it was the scariest thing for me too, absolutely. I remember month 1, I did pretty good with Success Club points. Month 2, Wendy called me. It was like, all right, it's time to go Emerald. And I'm like, what? No, I'm not doing that. I was like, I was like freaked out. The conversation freaked me out. It almost freaked me out enough to be like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But then I talked to my husband and he's like, Sarah, it's not a big deal. Like, try it, And then once I did it and started just making it a routine, it wasn't as much routine it is now for me, because now I do it all the time. But then it scared the crap out of me. So what it really comes down to is just doing it. We just got to do it. And it just becomes it's part of your business. It's one of the most important things. You can't hear me still, or are we good? Sorry, I'm still looking at those messages. Okay. But it's one of those things that's part of my business. It's routine. Yeah, I just read the comments. Sorry. I'm delirious. I'm tired. But it's got to be part of your business. It's a regular piece of it. And when you start having that fear, you've got to go back and look at your vision. You've got to go back and look at your why, because if you don't feel strongly about that vision and your why, it's not going to be stronger than that fear. It's got to be stronger than that fear. Otherwise, it's not going to be important enough to you. Like, I'm not going to invite because I'm scared of whatever, scared of rejection or whatever it may be. That fear, that desire to meet that vision's got to be greater than that fear. And then, honestly, the fear is greater. The actual fear is worse than the actual invitation. Once you do one, it's not a big deal. It's just conversations with people. It's all it is. Don't make it bigger than what it needs to be. It's just a conversation, sharing what we do and what it's all about and what you love about it. So you kind of might need to reframe your thinking about it. So back to what I was saying is that the form that I put, or the Google Doc, or whatever you want to call it, that I put in the Goal Crushers is simply just an accountability piece. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. No big deal. But I really, because I don't want to add more work onto anybody, but I want people to recognize that inviting to the coaching opportunity is essential to growing your business. If you want to make this, make this where you're making a bigger income, you have to grow a team. And part of growing a team is sharing about the business, sharing your love for it, sharing your passion for it. People are going to say no. Expect it. It's part of it. Every no that you get is one more no closer to a yes. It's also, every no is a potential follow-up. That's all it is. It's nothing more than that. And most people that I ask are either flattered or it's just bad timing. So, and that's fine. I mean, as far as if they say no, and that's fine. I put them on my follow-up list, and then I follow up with them, a month or two down the road. And sometimes it is good timing. And many of my good coaches, honestly, they're people that I've just kind of stayed in touch with, not pester them by any means, but just staying in touch with and keeping that connection going. And then at some point, there's a good chance that I'm looking here that someone needs to be muted. There we go. The timing might be better. So kind of think of it that way. So anyway, again, back to that, I'd like to make sure that you guys are inviting to the coaching opportunity at least once a day. So you have to be working from a list. Like if you have oftentimes starting with your challengers is the best way to start, because your challengers are the best stewards of they're the ones that can, that they've gone through it. They know what it is. If they love it, if they're having success, they are the best candidates for a good coach. Also, you're going to have, like we talked about before, your list of people who are kind of like your dream team, so to speak, people that you would love to be on your team. Have a list of people, do an invite a day. And an invite might be someone that you've been kind of priming for an invite, but you haven't invited yet. Might be a conversation you've had going, and then maybe today's the day. But try to aim for 7 invites a week, and if you can't, if you do more than that, that's great, because the people that are successful, as I've said before, in this business, are the ones that are inviting more. That's all it is. It really is. Yes, we fine tune how we talk and how we present it, but that's what it comes down to. The people that are having more success are inviting more. Bottom line. So anyway, enough of that. If you have problems getting on that document, let me know. I think I opened the shared settings. I sometimes struggle with that, but I think I fixed it because Stephanie was trying to put some coach invitations in there and she couldn't, but I think I fixed it. Anyway, so for tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit more about getting more engagement on your fitness page. I know some of you, I shouldn't say some of you, many of you have started a fitness page. If you haven't, this is good information for you for when the point that you decide to. Fitness pages are different from your personal page. I shouldn't call it fitness page like pages. I call it a fitness page. It just sounds better. But a like page does function differently than a personal page. Facebook has these weird formulas so that, and it's the way they make money and they're smart, that they're not going to push you out in the newsfeed unless people want to see it. They're not going to, so if you have a bunch of likes on your page, but you're not getting any engagement on your post, which means likes and comments, people are not going to see what you're posting. You're just posting and no one's seeing it. So that the goal is to get your post out there, and so that people are seeing what you are putting out there. So that's what I mean when getting engagement on your page. So as I said before, just by starting a fitness page, and let's say I'll post on it a few times a week, no one's going to see it if you just do that. So you have to be very intentional with your fitness page. Your personal page is a little bit different. I think that Facebook's done some funky things with personal pages, but like pages are very different. And they're, like I said, you have to be intentional with your posts. And I know some of you have done that free Jesse Regan training. And some of you have even paid for the Jesse Regan training, the bigger one, which I did last summer, and I think it was beneficial. I run ads every month, and I get new likes every day, multiple. So it does help, and the content he provides is good. So I do recommend it. It is expensive. It's $299, but I think I'm a lifetime member. I think he's going to end that opportunity to become a lifetime member, which means all the content he has for future things will be there for you. But so if it's something you're considering, you got to do it right away. Anyway, so getting more engagement on your fitness page. So I'm going to talk about just a few ways that you can get engagement. And I'm still working on it. It takes time and commitment. It can't be like you got inspired to work on it this week and the next week you don't. You have to be consistent with it. So when you are posting on your fitness page, you have to be intentional as to who you are, quote unquote, speaking to. So that has to do with your brand. Like what types of people are you targeting, and that has to do with the things that interest you, what defines you, and what are your, what types of people would you want to attract to your team. So you want to gear your post towards that. Okay, why don't you sit by me and I'll fix it in a minute. So you want to develop posts that gear toward the people you want to attract. So, and you also want to make sure your posts either inform about something, educate, or entertain. So you want to provide value to them. And sometimes value is just being entertaining, just a funny post. You also want to be consistently showing what you're doing with your fitness and nutrition. So that always has to be a piece of it. Doing the post-workout selfies are great, but don't make it all about that. Do something, you might show a move that do a video and show a move that, was challenging for you and that you were able to overcome. or, you know, so you want to also mix it up and throw some value in there. So you want it to be something where people are looking at it and are like want to see what you're going to post next, because they're learning something from you. You want to show your face. Not every single post has to show your face, but people need to know who you are. And people actually want to see your face. If they're, you know, going to be interested in your posts, they want to know you. They want to see what you have to say. They want to see your face. And you want it to be a good picture. You know, the lighting needs to be good. And I know, and I still have yet to buy one, but either on your phone you can get one of those Lumi things that helps with the, you know, the darkness and the brightness in your picture, or I don't know if anyone else has one. Sorry, I was just reading what some of your comments were. Anyway, it's something that makes the brightness or the quality of your picture really good. So you don't want fuzzy pictures in there. Pictures where there's just a lot of commotion going on in the background that can be distracting. I'm not saying that you're not going to have that from time to time, or maybe even a lot of the time, but you really do want to be aware of what your picture looks like. You want your pictures to look like, you know, that you'll stop. I know you've heard this before, but you want to make sure you're consistently telling your story and being vulnerable about what that is. If you're not sure what your story is, that's something you really need to sit down and think about. Like, what do you want to share about how Beachbody's changed you? What do you want to share about what you're hoping it's going to change for you? Like sharing about your vision, sharing about what you hope for your future, for your family, you know, all those things we talk about with your vision. So talking about how it's changed you and how you want it to change you, it needs to be something that you're transparent about on your page. And I'm talking to myself here too. Got to do more videos, especially the live videos get so much more traction. Facebook likes it. They will push your videos on your fitness or your like page out into the newsfeed much more frequently than they will much more frequently than they will a photo. Even the best photos. If you have a crappy video as opposed to a great photo, you'll probably get more traction on the crappy video. So, you know, a goal would be to do a video a day. I know that's a lot. Even if you can get a few videos a week, that will help your traction. It'll get you out more in the newsfeed. Facebook likes that. They'll push it out there for you. And you can tell when you post something, it will say how many people it's reached. So it's kind of fun to see. Yeah, go ahead. It's fun to see what, why don't you go sit over there? You know, kind of look at your posts and see which ones have had higher reaches, and you can kind of look at the times you posted and the types of posts you did, and that can help drive what your future posts are going to be, showing how many people you've reached. Developing your own brand, and a fun way that I kind of play around on Instagram, because you know how Instagram is, where you can see someone's page and you can kind of see all their posts in just like one little screen. I like looking at some coaches who have had good success and see how they branded themselves. And sometimes it's just like the font they use when they do a picture with wording on it, or it might be the filter they use. It's something you know that you're going to see when you go on their page. A good example is Jamie Fitzpatrick. I don't know if you know or have heard of him. He's number 6 coach in the company from 2016. He was, he and his wife, I should say, they work together as a team. I think I've talked about him in the previous call. But if you go to his page, you're going to notice he and his wife, first of all, they tag each other in every post. And their filter is the same. Like, you know when you see their post that it's the same type of filter. It's kind of like you know who they are. So they've developed a brand simply just what their pictures look like, and it's kind of cool. So it's something, check them out. I think their posts are real quality. How can you get this? Yep. Sorry. And check out other people's pages just to kind of give you some ideas. Like I said, with Jamie Fitzpatrick, you might find some other coaches like Angie Belmar, I think does a really good job. Like, her branding is really great. Her pictures are super clear. She does a lot on Snapchat. I'm not a big Snapchat person, but I know Snapchat is the new thing. So she does a lot of great things. I'm not sure if she's still heavy on Instagram. She was for a while, but her pictures are really great. So just find some coaches that speak to you just to give you some inspiration and some ideas. I highly recommend that. I don't necessarily recommend like totally copying what they're doing, but you can definitely get inspiration, give you some ideas. The asking questions and comparison photos are crazy. Like for some reason, they get a ton of traction. I did one this weekend on like a bathing suit, like either doing a 2-piece or a full piece. And I got so many comments on that one. And like my reach was so high. For some reason, people want to share their opinion, and that's great. And that helps you for future posts. So even though that post has nothing to do, well, it does a little bit have to do with it, is because I was talking about the trip coming up, but Facebook will reward you by pushing you more out. The more traction you get on certain posts, even if it's nothing to do with your fitness business, it will start pushing you out more and more. So get those posts that are going to get engagement. And a lot of pictures that get engagement for me has been pictures of my baby, so he makes it regularly in the newsfeed, not only because I like to post pictures of him, but it gets a lot of traction. So what's considered a high reach? Gosh, it's probably different for each person, because I would probably pose that question for Rachel Baldwin, because she gets a super high reach. I get excited if I'm over 1,000. But I don't know. I think it would depend on, I would just compare with what you've done and look at your photos and see what's been high for you. And posting, they say 3 to 5, but I would say 5 a day consistently on your fitness page. I know it can be daunting to post 5 times a day, but once you get to doing it, it gets easier. And once you kind of develop a plan, it gets a lot easier. Facebook will reward you. Again, you just be consistent, and a couple months down the road, they're going to reward you and start pushing you more out in the newsfeed regularly. Also, if you have a spouse or significant other, have them get on your page and like and comment on your stuff. That's going to help you. I am always on Greg's case. Get on my page. You need to like my stuff. And sometimes he'll share my content to his. And I actually got a customer because he shared something, and someone reached out to me, and it was just like, so get your spouse or significant other or whoever is a support system in your life to support you on that. And that can be helpful. So as far as posting, I kind of have, I'll show you what I have on my wall here that helps me out a little bit. Like it's posted on my wall. I have Mondays. Okay, Monday I always make sure I do a motivational quote. What am I doing now? Share a healthy recipe, workout photo, challenge group invite. Do I always follow this to a T? No, but I keep it on my wall if I'm just like, I don't know what to post today. You definitely always want to have something fitness related and something about what you're doing. You always want to have you want to have multiple invitations during the week to either the coaching opportunity or or to a challenge group. The transformation photos are really big. A lot of people use the Transformation Tuesday or the Throwback Thursday. Those are good opportunities to show your transformation or a challenger's transformation, get their permission. You should make a page for your dog and use it for likes. So, be creative with those things, but you have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to be vulnerable and share those photos. I know Sarah had mentioned she doesn't like doing before, after pictures or anything with her stomach showing, but you did one last week. And it was you had a great transformation from the Court of Force from the last 2 months. And that was I think a big deal. So it's hard to be vulnerable at times, but it's effective, And Stephanie, I know you've done you had a big transformation over the last 2 months too. And just sharing that, being vulnerable, makes you relatable too. And I think a lot of people, once they get in the business, they think, oh, I should be in this fantastic shape. I need to be at my goal weight and this, that, and the other. No, people like real people. They like people who are going through the process themselves and have things that they have to work on. People that struggle too. We all struggle. Putting ourselves out there as this perfect person is not, I don't think, the way to go. I think it's being you and being real is the way to go. So anyway, 5 posts on your fitness page is going to help you in the long run. But aim for 3 to 5, but I recommend 5. And, you know, like I said, if you need that inspiration, make a list of things to post about. You know, you want to do some lifestyle ones, some fitness ones, you want to do nutrition ones, you know, make a list of 5 things every day that you can do and just be consistent. And you can schedule them out. You can, Facebook, like, sorry, on your like page, you can schedule everything on your like page. You don't even have to have Buffer for that or any other type of scheduling program to schedule those. So if you're busy the next day, schedule them the night before, you know, just, and I don't, it doesn't harm you as far as your reach or anything like that. And you can recycle content. If there's something that had a, my phone is about to die. If you had a post like 3 months ago that had great reach or whatever, recycle it, use it again. Not everyone's going to see it again at that moment in time that you post it again, or you can use it and maybe switch the wording around. So don't be afraid to recycle content. So, and then again, just providing value on a regular basis. So if anything, if you have a busy day and you don't have a lot of time for Beachbody, make sure you get your posts in. Because that, for your fitness page, if you're trying to grow a fitness page and you want this to be a legitimate business, make sure you get those in. That's super important. And I recommend Jesse Reagan if you can swing the money financially. I know it's tough. And that's it. I'm looking at my notes for tonight. Does anyone who has a fitness page want to share any tips themselves? And I'm not like the guru of fitness pages. I'm learning as I go too. I've been trying to be I've pretty much stopped posting on my personal page because I'm just ready to transfer over. So, I'm trying to be consistent with my page so that it gets pushed out more. Because I just feel like I need to go all in. But does anyone else have any either questions or anything they want to add about what's been effective for you? All right, let me see here. I'm looking at your comments here. Jesse says to sit and schedule your posts in one sitting to start. Yeah, you can definitely do that. I don't think scheduling posts is frowned on. If you do it from Buffer and schedule your posts, I don't know that they reward you for that, but if you're scheduling it on your like page, if from the like page, you can do it where you can schedule it. I don't think it affects you. I actually think they might reward you a little bit for that. Okay, sorry, I'm reading the comments here. My questions center on running ads. Yeah, and we can do one on running ads. We can do a post or a call on running ads. I need to refresh myself on them because I do have ads running, but I've had them running for a long time, and I'm now at the point like, I'll just give you a little tidbit on it. What Jesse Reagan tries when you do the training, he's going to teach you how to run ads, and he's going to teach you how to get the cost down per like. And so you run lots of split testing and things like that. Anyway, it took me a long time, but I got my cost down really low. I think I have it about 6 to 10 cents per like. It varies per day, and that's pretty low. You want to get it under 10 cents. So now I'm at the point where when I run an ad, I just go to that audience and I plug it. So I can run an ad, and I run cheap ads all the time now. So I need to refresh myself, but we can certainly do a call on that. Who in here, is there anyone in here not doing the Jesse Reagan, the paid Jesse Reagan one? Anyone? Christy, Jamie. So would it be helpful if we did like a call on it? I'll have to, like I said, I need to do some refresher, but I'll do a call on it and on running ads. At least, kind of like a quick and dirty. but it won't be exactly what Jesse Reed, like he goes and I loved his training because he takes you step by step. You don't even move on to the next step until you finish the first step. Like that's how I learn. Like, don't give me 100 things to do. Give me one thing, finish it. One thing, finish it. So the training is awesome for that. But I will do my best to kind of share some basics. Content, yes. I'm with you, Lindsay. I totally am with you. So it might be a good idea, like when you're thinking about doing live videos, maybe one day that you have some extra time is just write down ideas for topics for live videos so that you're not doing it on the fly. And then same thing for posts, develop some different ideas for posts so that, you don't come to the day and you're like, oh, I got to think of 5 topics. Like have some ideas written down so that you can be more effective during the work week when we're all super busy. So, yeah. The tabs. I've tried everything and can't figure out the tabs I'm not sure what you mean. The tabs on your fitness page? I'm not sure. I wonder about the links and tabs. What do you mean? Sorry, I'm tab to link to a Google form. Oh,
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So on I'll use Rachel for an example. I might go to her personal page and she has her name highlighted on her personal page in a post, and you click on it and it links right to her post in her like page. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how she does. I haven't figured that out, but I also haven't taken the time to research it. And then on some of these like pages, there are tabs along the side, or your buttons, I guess, and then there are links in there. So you click on that and it links you to, let's say, an application, a job application, or apply to join my team or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's what I don't know what everyone else thinks about that. That's what I link the tabs. I don't know how to do that.
I'll ask Rachel. I'll ask her and I'll share it with you guys.
That's what I was asking about too. And I emailed her, or I text her, but we're not connecting on what it is exactly that I was looking for.
Okay.
But instead of sending a message, a private message, right next to her send message, she has a tab that says learn more. And when you click on it, it takes you to like what a Google form would be. Mm-hmm. Here, tell me what you've done before, what you've succeeded with, and et cetera. And I can't figure that out. And I don't know if it's in which choice I made to create my like page. And that's why it's not an option for me. But I just can't figure out how to do it. And I think it's an awesome added.
Yeah, I have that on my too. Actually, once you, I can show you guys real quick. I don't know how much time we have left on here, but it's not too hard. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick and I'll just show you real quick. The other part with the hyperlink, Sarah, I don't know the answer to that. Let me see if I can get, okay. I haven't shared my screen in so long. Okay. Give me a second. This is my husband's computer. I don't know what he's done on here. Okay. Okay, here's my fitness page. So I have the shop now as well here. So if you click on it, you can see which website would you like to send people when they click on this button. So I did a Google form, and I don't know if you know how to do a Google form or not, but then when you go to share, it will give you a link, and then I posted it in here. So
is there a way to not have it be shop now? Because hers says learn more, so it's set up a little bit different.
Right.
Can you edit what that says on it instead of shop now?
Yep. Right there.
Ah, okay. So it is in how I have the page set up. So you've got it under more of a business versus a personal page.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can mess around with it. So I just changed it to learn more right there. When you go to edit button, you just hover over it, don't click on it. You can test
Okay.
the button and it will take you there. So I have interest survey kind of thing too.
Yep. Okay. So it's just a matter of resetting how the like page is set up initially.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
She was saying, just hover over it. I'm like, there's nothing to hover over.
I'm the same way. I need someone to like show me sometimes because I'm just a visual learner. And yeah, so anyway.
So what option how do you set that up then? What setting do you go to
For doing that,
to be able to change that? Like Kay said, hers isn't set up that way.
I think it's under settings. Let me see if I can show you.
It is, Sarah. When you first set up the like page, you can go back in anytime and change the type of like page you have.
So what type do you need though?
Hers is a business.
Oh, okay. I don't even know
I
what
didn't
mine
use
was.
that one because it said shop now and like, what do you want to purchase? I'm like, that's not what I'm doing at all. So that's not what I had picked.
So I'm trying to think, there's different ways to edit it. So I just went to about, and I think you can edit everything right here. And like if your tab is already there, like I said, just hover over it and manage your tabs. I just kind of play around with it. That way. So no one really gave me a tutorial on it. I just kind of always dinked around with it a little bit. But in the Jesse Regan, they do go over some of that as well. And having a good banner is important too. I paid for someone to do my banner. You don't have to if you're really good at making good graphics, but I did because, and I don't know, I just wanted it looking really professional. I didn't think I could do it. And he's willing to, because I was pregnant when he did mine. And I was like, well, I'm going to have another kid, so I want him in there, because right now it's still just the 5 of us. And he's like, just whenever you get another family picture, just message me. I'll fix it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I don't have a good family picture yet that I want in there, but yeah. So anyway, all right. All right, cool. So maybe in the next week or two, we'll do something on ads. Like I said, I need to probably do a refresher for myself. So, because I don't want to give you guys, I want it to be clear for you guys. I don't want to be on there like, oh, I think you do this. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys accurate information. But if you aren't doing the Jesse Regan, you're considering it and you have the money for it, do it. If you don't have the money for it, don't worry about it. And when the time comes, I think it's a good thing to do if you want to make this a big business for yourself. So anyway, well, thanks for coming on and dealing with my technical issues with this. I'm glad we figured it out at least, though. So, all right. So I guess we're done for tonight. So keep sticking with your business hours, everyone. Don't make this like, how a lot of people make New Year's resolutions. They're all pumped up and ready to go, and then it fizzles out because life happens. No, this needs to be something that you have to stick with. Keep those vision boards alive in your workspace, so that when you go in there, you're inspired and you're feeling like, yes, there's a reason I'm doing this. This isn't just another thing on my plate. So keep those vision boards where they need to be. Your 12-week goals, keep them up. That's what we're trying to reach is our 12-week goals. And so keep those in a place where you can see them. So that you know that there's a purpose to what you're doing. You're trying to grow a team, you're trying to help people, so make sure that those are, in a visible place. Like I have a dry erase board, I write notes on it. I have specific coaches that I'm working more closely with because I know that they have big goals. I just kind of go where they're at and try to help them if I can, or at least let them know that I'm here for them. So I kind of have their names up there, so I always make sure that they're not forgotten. I usually write a little quote on my board just to kind of keep me inspired. I might look up something if I'm feeling like blah that day. I will get my personal development book out and find something that inspires me and write it up there, and it kind of helps me. So those are just some little tips that I do to keep me fresh and alive, and so that, like I said, with New Year's resolutions, how a lot of people will get excited and then We don't want that. We want to stay in a nice, good space where we're all staying motivated, but realistic and consistent. So anyway, all right, everyone. Thanks for getting on the call tonight. I hope it recorded properly, but I will post it in the group. I think it did. I'll post it in the group for you all if you needed to go over it again, and for all the people that weren't able to get on. So, all right, everyone, have a great night.